Well, let me start out by saying that the elite are expecting a crash of epic proportions. I'll get on to why in a little while. And you might as well look at this long road that we got going into the White Mountains here as the arduous road that lies ahead of us as we, the middle class, are going to have to deal with the problems that are coming up. Now, to put things in perspective, if you look back at the time when people were on a trail going west with wagon trains and had to deal with, large snows, parched deserts, hostile Indians or whatever else they had to deal with, rattlesnakes and starvation. Uh, Relatively speaking, we're going to have it pretty damn easy. So don't really think of this as doom and gloom because we got all the access to all the supplies in the world that we need. Not just silver, because silver is one aspect of things, but quite obviously, the reason you want to stick with silver is because the denominations of gold are going to be too hard to divide into small enough amounts that if you go need to buy a bag of rice and bread and some tuna fish or something, it's not going to be easy to do. You could do that with a silver coin. That stuff she's holding up in her hand here, whether it be euros or U.S. fiat currency, it's going to go by the wayside due to the government debt. These are nothing but government IOUs that are not real money, and we all know this for a fact that what is real money? Yeah, it's gold, but it's also silver. It's any type of tangible item, which can be beans, bullets, bacon, or whatever, and cigarettes, right? But it's not going to be that easy of a freaking ride. I can tell you that right now, and that's the deal. Now, I actually have some information. I was talking to somebody that I wasn't even aware of this. Hopefully it's good information because they are it's someone I was talking to in person. Okay, the guy's a PhD, not someone I was talking to on the internet, and some of this stuff sounds a little ludicrous. It's almost like meeting a tiger on a subway or something. But I know what it sounds like to the average person that's not used to these conspiracies and things. But the world has been built upon conspiracies. The best laid plans are always in secret. That's really how it is. That's why all companies work. They get together. There's a little bit of collusion. There's secret plans. There's a strategy. That's how governments work. You don't show all your cards, quite obviously. So, you know, if a person is holding their cards close to their chest, is that a conspiracy? Well, that's pretty much the strategy for everybody. So maybe the word conspiracy is too strong, but they don't let the average person know what their game is. But one thing I could tell you for certain that I think it's coming up, and this person I talked to is a PhD in person. He says that the White House or Obama had a bomb shelter built on the White House grounds, and there was these bomb shelter doors that were being custom made not only for that shelter but thousands of them being made for shelters all across the country. And who they're for, where they're at, we don't know, but he tried to order some himself and he found out he was not able to order any until the orders were fulfilled for the government first, because the government doesn't really make anything themselves. They always get things through private contractors, like just like the military industrial complex. The military isn't in the game of manufacturing weapons per se. It's a manufacturer, just like all the security things that are out there for bomb shelters are coming from the private sector. Well, the private sector has to fulfill the contracts for the government first. Now, what does this mean to us? Well, it's a good indication that the elite are expecting something pretty terrible to happen in the near future, and possibly they have underground shelters, just like something like depicted here, whereby you might look across the landscape and not notice too many things, but underneath that landscape, there's quite a big infrastructure of livable space that could sustain somebody for quite a few years, or maybe sustain people not being underground all the time, but being underground when they need to be, that type of stuff. So, um, it's something that came up, and I'm going to tell you, There are natural things you can do for this, even though this is a silver update. And I want to talk a little bit about this. Now, I was thinking about going up to Tennessee eventually, and I don't know when this is going to happen, but maybe too late. Um, Tennessee has actually been noted for, not you wouldn't believe this, is noted for having a number of caves. They got some of the biggest, I think it's the Xanadu Cave is over there, and they have a number of caves just located throughout the land that you can use as natural types of shelter during an emergency. A lot of people don't know about them because a lot of the areas aren't really well explored in Tennessee. And that's not just the only place that's around it, but you find any type of natural cave entrance, you got a pretty damn good natural shelter from any kind of catastrophe that could possibly happen. But let me say that when we're coming down to the finish line on what's the elections going on, it's something else. I am really suspecting that. I used to think this was an extreme conspiracy theory, but I am expecting that Obama might not be relinquishing power in on January because of what's going on with Hillary Clinton. Now, obviously, it'd be pretty nice if we could, diverge Hillary Clinton off the presidential race and get her chasing one of these young honeys over here or something. That'd be nice. Just get her the hell out of politics, But I don't think that's going to happen because she's beholden to all these foreign powers. They gave her hundreds of millions of dollars, and of course, Bill Clinton is pushing her to run because he wants to be in the White House indirectly. But I also think and this does relate to silver because I think it's going to have catastrophic effects on the markets. First, I think there's two things that are possibly going to happen. One is a terrorist attack in the United States that's going to make the Twin Towers look like nothing between now, this is only if it looks like Hillary Clinton is so unhealthy she can't even make it through to the election. I think that will happen in that case. Otherwise, I think nothing will happen. Or number two is that maybe she's going to have a health problem and, well, not make it, that's the one. But the number two is I think the Russians are going to leak through, supposedly one of those anonymous groups or whatever the hell it is, that more emails that show Hillary Clinton has taken direct bribes from nefarious foreign powers directly into the Clinton Foundation, which is nothing but a big slush fund, whatever the hell you want to call it. And this will be released maybe 3 to 4 weeks before the election, where she was not going to have time to respond to it, and it's going to be very damaging. She'll lose. But I think that's going to give more reason for Obama to hold reins of power and declare some kind of emergency. If he declares an emergency, I can't see the markets staying up. Let me say that. That's why I'm bringing it up. If there's something like, fear is one of the things that drive gold up. Really. That's why I'm bringing these things up. Fear and uncertainty. I'm not saying that you, the gold holders or silver holders, are scared and you're running around like a chicken with no head on. I am saying that that's just the market psychiatry or psychology whereby metals go up, precious metals. When there's a lot of political uncertainty going on, and also during times of war, and there's major conflict, not like a domestic police action or foreign police action, I meant to say, whereby you have a real war where the situation's in doubt. A lot of times fear drives people towards the old standby, gold and commodities, silver, oil, things like that, even agricultural staples. And I think we're coming up to a situation where that's going to be very plausible because what's going on with, that fact I just mentioned that independent contractors, independent companies that manufacture these big, I forget how thick they were. He told me how thick they are, these doors that are used for bomb shelters. They manufactured them some for the White House bunker, which I wasn't aware of. This guy's a PhD. He told me this stuff, so I'm just telling you what he told me. I didn't see it on the internet. All right, and they manufactured some for. They're manufacturing orders for people in the government on, I think, 1,500 undisclosed locations throughout the United States. And I'm thinking, why are they doing this, man? Is that because something's coming up? Yeah, there probably is something coming up. Now, somebody that can't afford that, maybe you need to find a cave up in Tennessee or Vermont or Utah or Nevada or something. I mean, I don't know what you could do, but it's telling me something's coming up that's pretty severe. And when you, like I said, when you have uncertainty, uncertainty drives gold. There's no doubt about it. As a matter of fact, what drove gold so high a lot of times was not even just the domestic uncertainty, but the uncertainty of the events in the Middle East, which drove oil to be very high. And oil, when oil goes in an extreme bull run, gold is very much linked to oil, especially when oil's in an extreme bull run. When gold and oil are going an extreme bull run, silver tends to take off and actually go up even higher percentage-wise in both gold and silver and oil. So, it's going to probably be a rocky road for silver to go up, and not a straight line, but a jagged hyperbolic line when it does finally hit its stride. And when that happens, it's going to come crashing down when things settle down again. And it will settle down at one point in time. That's why I'm not a forever holder of silver. But I think that when it does go up, it's going to go up to probably some ungodly amount you would not expect. But, I'm also betting that I'd rather be in an area that is, a little less populated, and maybe up in the mountains too. So, before that even happens to silver hits its final height. So anyway, just want to put this out as another unique perspective, because I'm reading the tea leaves here, basically, that things are not being told to us all the way in the major media. And I also realize, even on YouTube, I mean, I can't say the I word, I can't say the NUKE word or anything like that, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, they just don't like it, And I also know that he's been predicting this for a little while. I know what Duff said, senior editor from Veterans Today. I mentioned that. But, if I mention it, it's like, the big YT gets pissed off at me, so I'm not going to mention it too much, But as long as you get my drift. That's why I'm saying that I think it's fairly certain that the elite knows something's coming up, just when I got that information today about the bomb shelter doors and them not being able to complete private contracts until they're done with the government contracts. They got to fulfill the government contracts. Yeah, which tells me, what the hell do they know? Probably quite a bit. And they ain't telling us nothing. Now, is that a conspiracy? I don't want to use that word, because it's almost like when you got a poker player, you hold your cards to your chest. Does that mean you're conspiring? No. That means you're not telling anybody what's going on, though. That means you're not telling people what your real game is. You're putting on a poker face, right? I mean, are all poker players conspirators? No. But basically, that's kind of how the world works. Everybody's a poker player. All right? I mean, that's not really conspiracy theory. That's poker player theory. And that's just how things are, man. You keep your cards close to your chest, and you don't tell people your plans. And a lot of times, people can collude together to cheat for their advantage. And it's playing poker, man. It's business. That's the way the world works, and the elite are against us, the middle class. But as far as I can tell, looking at even what's happened with the markets over this year, considering that they're trying to keep everything hunky-dory for the elections because they want to keep the incumbent party in power. They don't want the markets to go down. The fact that silver and gold and platinum and palladium did fairly well this year so far, considering from where they were. I mean, in December of 2015. Considering where they were in December 2015 to now, they've done fairly well. They did good. They did good. Not saying they did good from now till 5 years ago when it was at its height. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying is just over the last 8 months or so. So I think that the deal is we're going to pretty much on track to go into the big mega crash like they've always been predicting. And the fear factor is still there behind the scenes despite all their manipulations to hold the markets up and the dollar to hold the dollar strength up, because you're seeing this creeping up of gold and silver and oil very slowly. I know oil is not doing that great. It's still at 40. I think it's at 46 on the WTI today. But it's not going to take but one event really major to really spike it upward inside of no time at all. We'll immediately go way the hell over 100, and who the hell knows, maybe even to 200. As a matter of fact, I think one of the things that's actually going to be one of the biggest problems for the middle class is transportation, cheap transportation, because I think oil is actually going to go to $8 to $10 a gallon. I mean, not oil, but I mean gasoline is going to go to $8 to $10 a gallon. Oil is going to go well north of $150 a barrel. I know it's not going to stay that way, because what's going to happen is, I hate to say this, there's going to be a depopulation. There's going to be a less demand for oil that way, because the world's population is not going to be able to sustain when all these systems start breaking down. And I'm showing a picture here with a lot of snow and ice. I think the mini ice age is actually going to put a big hurt locker on the world's food production, and that's going to drive the food prices way the hell up. It's going to be tough, man. Hate to tell you this shit, but it's going to be tough. That's all I got to tell you, So, the elite knows something. I'm telling you, they do know something. I think the time is coming fairly soon. I mentioned before that it was 36 years since the erection of the Georgia Guidestones, which was 2016, March 22nd, 2016. 36 is an occultist number. 1 through 36 integers added up is 666. So we're 36 years from 1980 to 2016. Could that be something? Yeah, maybe. Because I do know the elitists go by the occultist numbers all the way. Number 2, we're going to be coming upon the 100-year anniversary of the Miracle of the Sun in Fatima, Portugal, which occurred on October 13th, 1917. So the 100-year anniversary is going to be October 13th, 2017. I think it's pretty obvious one of the messages was that Russia would be the instrument whereby they would chastise mankind for its sins. Not saying that Russia's evil, but they would be the instrument whereby mankind would be chastised for its sins. That looks pretty obvious to me, to tell you the truth. I mean, I'm not really religious, but I'm sorry. I think that's the deal. And I hate to put out a doom and gloom video here, man, but I guess it's kind of like a doom and gloom. And but if you're a country bunkin', and just go with the old saying, if you're a country bunkin', you're a country boy, you'll survive. That's the deal, right? I mean, it's not like the end of the world all the way, okay? But yeah, it's going to be the end of the world for those who are not prepared. So, I'm kind of running a semi-prepper channel here a little bit, more of a health channel though than a prepper channel. But yeah, I think that possibly that the end is near, huh? I mean, I don't know how to put it. Not the end of everything, but the end of an era, the end of fiat currency, the end of debt-based government borrowing, the end of the elite freaking, and actually, when the elite go bury themselves in these little bunkers and shit like that, they're going to find out that the world's not going to be safe because, where they really fed off of before was the middle class. And without the middle class, what winds up happening is they feed off of each other. Karma's a bitch. It comes right back on you, Bubba, and ladies, when you're elitist. It's like when they got nobody to freaking ride roughshod over, they're going to be attacking each other like a bunch of piranhas. And that's just the way it is. So we, the people on the two-wheel travel here, like old girl Blondie and the black-haired girl, we're gonna ride and just roll the way things go, and that's just how it is. I mean, as far as what the elite do, um, one of the best things you could do is not try to be like them, because actually, to tell you the truth, the more I find out about people that think they're elitists or people that are white-collar professionals, they could do so much less than the average blue-collar, can-do type person. And when it really comes down to a situation, they're totally helpless. So if they're paying everybody to keep their bunker going or whatever the hell it is, and mow the grass around the bunker or something, I don't know what they'd be doing. But any of these complex systems, if they don't know how to work that stuff or repair that stuff, it's just going to take a little bit of before one thing goes wrong to another thing, and they're SOL, you know. So when it really comes down to it, it's you, the individual, are your number one main weapon. It's not necessarily all the money in the world. It's you, your resourcefulness, your frame of mind, and your can-do positive attitude. So you got to have that positive type of psychology going on. Just like the girl with the checkered flag, we're gonna win. Just like Trump says, I'm a winner. You know, maybe he's not going to win every freaking time or win every battle, but if you keep telling yourself you're going to lose, if you keep telling yourself you're a loser, you're definitely going to lose. You got to keep telling yourself you're a winner. You got to keep telling yourself you could survive, and you got to keep telling yourself you can get over any kind of hardship situation. And that's your best shot at things, really, keeping a positive attitude. And keeping a positive attitude isn't being an ostrich and sticking your head in the sand and ignoring the situation. Situation is pretty damn bad. So, but as far as like what's coming up with the markets are looking pretty hot for silver. To tell you the truth, I mean, over this last year, in 2016, things have been moving up for all the metals, and even oil has been recovering somewhat. Um, I think they're holding all the prices down due to the election coming up, because commodity prices very much affect how much the consumers have for disposable income. But, whatever happens in the election, whether Hillary gets knocked out of the race and Obama stays in, God, or, Trump wins and everything's fine, and if Trump wins, they'll probably crash the hell out of the markets. It's kind of like a lose-lose situation. But I think the biggest losers are going to be the upper middle class and the retirees that are invested in the establishment electronic market systems. They're going to be the big losers. The elitists are pretty smart. They're actually got their bunkers. They got their stuff already, and they're all set. They're all set. But then again, like I said, these bunker systems are not that easy to operate, and considering you're a dumbass elitist that's not been doing nothing but talking on the cell phone and sticking your nose in a laptop all day and writing with a pen, you're probably not going to know how to work these systems in any kind of problem that occurs with them. In which case, you're going to be back to square one, primitive mankind all the way. So anyway, those of you in the working class probably got the best shot, as long as you keep a positive attitude. And just like Tony Tiger says over here with old girl, is that Tony the Tiger? Well, I think it's great, whatever he used to say. Remember that with the Kellogg's commercial? They're great. Put a tiger in your tank. Yeah, put a tiger in your tank, honey, with your little thing on your top of your hair and your blonde hair and your mini skirt. I put a tiger in your tank, that's for sure. Anyway, that's my update. I'm sticking to it, and chill out. But when I was talking to that PhD guy today, I was like, I didn't know that stuff about the bomb shelters, and I says, wow, guy's not stupid. He knows what he's doing, man. He knows what he's doing. So, hey, what the hell, right? I'm sorry I can't give you a link or a reference on it, but I trust what he told me. And you say he didn't tell me that? No, he told me that. And I've been hearing these things for a long time. I've been hearing stuff about, stockbrokers and whatever the hell it was, investment house managers having places up in Montana. But I never heard something specific where one of these big manufacturers of bomb shelter doors that are real thick, having to place all orders for the government first before they get back on the private sector. I never heard that Obama has a bomb shelter in the White House. Probably does. Probably goes down there and snorts coke or some shit. Who knows what this guy does, man? He's a bummer. A bummer, bummer. A bummer. A bummer. Yeah. The Abominable Snowman. That's what he is. Anyway. The bummer. Abominable Snowman. Yeah, he'd be an Abominable Snowman. That's what he'd be. Yeah. Frozen Washington D.C. We'll see what kind of storms they get this winter when global warming cooking up. Freaking Washington D.C. 5 feet of snow, man, that'll be all right. We'll see that. I like to see Washington get clobbered with a snowstorm like that, like they did last year with Obama coming off his plane, doing his global warming summit and whatever the hell he's doing, and his car skidding from curb to curb. I tell you what, the elitists, they got it all figured out. And I tell you the thing that's bigger than all of us, is what you call Mother Nature. You know, Big Mama Nature. You got to watch out for Big Mama Nature. Big Mama Nature says something. Big Mama Nature is bigger than all the fiat currency in the world. And Big Mama Nature is even bigger than silver. But, I still, like I said, I like silver because you just saw I made a video about making colloidal silver for my Mr. Meow Meow cats. Well, you know what? That's cool too. I mean, I can't do something like that with palladium or platinum or gold or copper or some shit. Only silver, right? So, and they got nice germ-free water, right? That'd be cool. And here comes Rocky. Hi, Rocky. Meow. Anyway, that wasn't him. That was me. I was imitating him. Anyway, over and out.